Thank you for joining us today on Something to Think About with Pastor Mike, where the topics can range from current events, historical perspectives, practical Bible application, to whatever's on his mind today. People have stereotypes of what it means to be a Christian, and one thing's for sure, Pastor Mike loves breaking those stereotypes. Pastor Mike Hasseltine is the senior pastor of Maranatha Church with campuses in Forest Lake and Chisago, Minnesota. With over 40 years of practical pastoral ministry, Pastor Mike challenges us to be real people, loving a real God, right in the midst of all our real lives. Now, here's Pastor Mike.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome. Thanks for tuning into WAJC, Your Life Radio, 88.1 and 91.7. Mike back there twisting the knobs today, our producer. Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Fantastic. We are missing Pastor Robin this morning.
I know, it's a bummer.
I know. Yeah, I feel, I get so used to, bouncing things off of her and harassing her that today could be a little different.
She takes it well, though.
She what?
She takes it well, though.
She does.
Harassment.
Yeah,
Like, Jenny's gone when you harass her,
you
so
can
we
tell,
don't know.
You know what's really funny? You can tell she's not a volunteer.
Yep.
She's staff. She's paid for.
Like
she gets paid.
pretending like she's actually working.
But I'm thinking about this idea of, she takes it. Well, what's she going to do?
Yeah, what is she going to do?
Yeah, that's so funny. Well, she's really good at just dishing it right back, though. It is good. I wish her well on her day off today. I'm not sure what she's up to, but having a good day. Okay, so then, Jenny, our station manager, she is getting all healed up. She, is the pickleball killer, and she's been known to harm people. But here a while back, if people remember, I've talked about how she got injured. Somebody stepped on her ankle, and so she's been kind of on the mend for a while. But she's back 100%, and I should run up there almost and warn people, watch out, she is feisty. She's going for it. She's like revved up. She's like a caged animal, and she's just got letting out of her cage. So they got to be careful. They might not just have to wear safety goggles, they might have to wear body armor because she's going to hit so hard and that paddle will be swinging recklessly all over the place.
I heard she bit somebody's ears off, like a piece of their ear off last week.
Yeah, like
Tyson.
Like Tyson, yeah. She gets that fierce. I mean, she's nasty. And in fact, I walked past her desk the other day and I looked on her desk. You got little, like notepads. Some got the gummies on the back and some don't, and they're just like a notepad kind of thing. I noticed she has a notepad. Let me show you this. Can you see that?
It says pickleball on it?
Yeah, it says things to do after pickleball.
Is there ever?
So it's a little notepad. There's things to do after pickleball. Well, I mean, I think what it means is like for her day, she's going to play pickleball, and then with any remainder part of the day, what things does she got to do? And this is her little notepad. Everything to do with pickleball.
She has all things pickleball.
She really is.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell our listeners enough and strain the emphasis of she's just killer. Man, you see, every once in a while I see like fire in her eyes. I mean, she just gets, geared up for pickleball. Yeah, it's intense. Yeah, in fact, I think if she could quit her job and go play pickleball 24/7, I think she might.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm just glad she doesn't, knock me around like she's her opponents.
Well, she comes in and we see her, and then she goes upstairs and plays pickleball. So she does have a racket with her, so you better be careful. Be good. Behave yourself around her. Know that you might not be beyond her reach.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it sure is fun to harass her.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's not that bad. But it sure is fun
she's a sweetheart.
to tease her. Well, no, don't go that far either, the other way, that'll go straight to her head. The idea of being sweetness. I think that the idea of being a beast and can hurt people is a silent badge.
As far as I know, she's never been to jail then.
No, she's never been to jail. Oh, wait a minute. Let me think about that.
How did the background check? How did she get in here?
Exactly. I mean, some people, before they come to Jesus, they have lived a pretty full life. And I don't know, she might have been. Maybe that's where she learned some of her elbow jabs and stuff, Some of that fighting skills that she now calls pickleball.
Good at avoiding the shiv.
Fighting skills called pickleball. Oh, I can't wait till she gives me grief about that comment. Fighting skills called pickleball. Oh, I like it. I'm going to start using that phrase with her more often. I'll have to make a note. Things to do after pickleball, the Post-it note I have from her desk. I'll have to write something on there about practice your fighting skills. It'll make you a better pickleball player. Oh, my gosh.
Forget to administer first aid to
Oh,
the people
that's so funny.
You've knocked around.
Oh, that is so funny. We love Jenny. It's just fun to harass her. Okay, so Pastor Robin, every week she brings us these national days, and knowing she wasn't going to be here, I asked her, could you, drop off that list of what's the national days? Because I just think they're funny, kind of interesting to talk about. And again, there's always cool things, good things, and crazy things. This is just plain interesting because I was the age growing up. Popeye, the Sailor Man cartoon. That was big stuff, man. I liked it.
I am what I am.
Yeah, I am what I am. And that spinach just, So Popeye the Sailor Man Day is the 96th anniversary of the cartoon's creation.
Oh, wow.
That was 96 years ago. So I'm 102. And so when I was a little kid, the cartoon just started. Yeah.
No. We were watching reruns of that cartoon.
Oh, yeah, 96th anniversary. Man, he looks pretty good for 96. Today is also Classy Day. I don't even know what that means.
Classy Day?
Classy.
Oh, yeah, we wouldn't know what that means.
No, I don't get classy. You know what's really funny is...
We're vulgar.
And this is a definite core belief of mine. A lot of Christians believe that the more spiritual you are, the more classy you become. And I have never put this idea of classy, because all I see as classy is, you got to be classy. You got to know, how to talk in front of men, how to talk in front of women and children. And, there's a certain amount of decorum that you need to be aware of and all that.
Yeah.
But to me, this idea of classy usually invokes feelings of superiority. You think you're better than other people.
Yep.
You get more like a stick in the mud.
Yep.
You're just this nose in the air, finicky, fussy, prissy, really judgmental. To me, that's what sometimes classy reminds me of.
Well, I thought it mattered what was on the inside, not what was on the outside.
Mike, God, what a concept. And again, not that we have to be brute beasts and we know how to conduct ourselves, but this idea of phoniness, because this is what I see real often. People try to classy up and they get really phony, and they somehow think that's real or has any value at all. It has no value spiritually. That's what I mean. It has no spiritual value. Today is also Bootleggers Day. The bootleggers who operated during Prohibition. Wow, we went straight from Classy Day to Bootleggers Day.
Just turned it 180 degrees.
Man, oh man. I mean, it's not a secret, but NASCAR racing got its roots.
Yeah.
Its roots go back to, hey, my car's faster than your car because they're running moonshine.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting.
Good practice.
Yeah. Hot Buttered Rum Day. I don't even know what that is. Is that a flavor?
Is it alcohol?
Is it
mixed drink?
I mean, obviously, I've heard of rum. But buttered rum. Buttered rum. Is that an alcohol? Wow. So I'm getting some information that it is. It's an alcohol. Hot.
Never had
it. And then you drink it warmed up, I'm assuming. He says here, Hot Buttered Rum Day. Well, not going to be my day today.
No.
This I wish I would use right here. In fact, I think most Americans could do this one.
What?
Use your gift card day. Christmas, you got to get a lot of, you got gift cards and stuff. I don't know about you, but I probably have a stack of 10 to 12 gift cards from a year or two ago.
Yeah.
And I keep telling myself, God, I just got to use those things. I just got to get them and I got to use them. And then life gets busy and you get running, and then an opportunity comes up where you could use it. And where'd you leave it? At home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
So, man, use your gift card day. That would be really good. Sunday, jumping ahead here, Sunday is Popcorn Day. I think Popcorn Day could be a national day every day, along with Chocolate Chip Cookie Day.
Yeah.
I think they should be every day. Popcorn Day.
You like your popcorn with like butter and salt and all that?
Lots of butter. Okay, so, my wife, she is gluten and dairy free. She's what?
Yeah.
Celiac. Oh, she's something, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, more and more Americans are becoming that because of our diet and the way we raise our grain and all that. But so we make 2 batches of popcorn. Hers is with coconut oil, and she will salt it usually.
Yeah.
But me, make the popcorn, microwave, bzzz, a bunch of butter, pour it all over the popcorn, and then salt it. So, yeah, love popcorn. Just ate a big bag of it last night, in fact. Monday is Squirrel Appreciation Day.
How do you appreciate a squirrel?
I don't know. You eat it. You know,
it.
I have to admit, I
You
love
lower
this
the bird
as
feeders.
as a boy, and even now, I really love squirrel hunting. And I was
Yeah.
taught to squirrel hunt with a .22, and you
Yeah.
shoot them in the head.
Yep.
You don't waste any meat. You don't make a mess. Some people talk about, I don't like eating squirrel because you got to dig the BBs out, and they go, well, don't shoot them with a shotgun. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
learn how to shoot accurately. Use a .22 and pop them in the head. And yeah, I love squirrel. And I admire squirrel, not because of the destructive power, because if they get in your eaves and as they start causing damage, maybe they can cause a lot of damage. But that aside, the squirrel is actually, to me, a very intriguing creature. Incredibly intelligent,
Yeah.
incredibly agile, you know, talented, gifted, balance-wise, muscular. I just think they're pretty intriguing little creatures.
They are.
I do. I've seen a video of a friend lives up here in Wyoming, and he created a squirrel launcher. So he'd wait until the squirrel climbed up on this thing, and he'd pull the string, and boom, he would toss it.
That'd be funny to see.
Oh, that'd be really funny to see. And right now, somebody somewhere is listening and going, that's cruelty to animals. Nah, it didn't hurt. Not one squirrel was harmed in the filming of these videos. Monday is Hugging Day.
Hugging?
Hugging. No, I'm the oldest of 4 boys, and I'm a hugger. I hug everybody. I don't have to know you. If you give me permission and you want a hug, I'm going to give you a hug. My brother, not so much. My next younger brother. No, he does not hug. He doesn't like to hug. Just not. I mean, you talk about 2 really opposite. You know, we're similar in so many areas, obviously, but this is one area where we are polar opposites. Amazing. So Monday, our listeners, tuck a little note somewhere, make a little Post-it note on, like a little Post-it note like things to do after pickleball. If you got your own little Post-it note, make a Post-it note and remind yourself when you go to work Monday, it's National Hugging Day. So, start hugging people.
I think it's also Martin Luther King.
Yes, Day. Yes, it
MLK
is.
Day.
Yep. I don't even think they put that on a national list day like this because it's a national holiday. I don't know. Because Robin didn't put it on here. But yeah, it's National Martin Luther King Day. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Great stuff. And then Wednesday, with this, I will finish it off. But next Wednesday is Sanctity of Life Day. President Ronald Reagan signed it into law in 1984, 41 years ago. National Sanctity of Life Day. And since then, man, you think about since 1973 when Roe versus Wade passed, we have killed millions upon millions upon millions of human babies. And I can say it that way because they weren't ducks, alligators, elephants, or deer. They were human babies.
True.
It's really tragic. Yes. And then also on Wednesday, it's kind of a kissing cousin to this, but not really. It's Celebration of Life Day, which honors children and grandchildren who bring joy as they are precious gifts. Cool
Amen.
stuff. Amen. They are. I know that September 10th is National Grandparents' Day.
Amen to that, too.
Yeah, me too, because I am one, and I am a great-grandpa. I remember when our oldest grandson told me, he says, Pepe, you're going to be a great-grandpa. I said, what do you mean, going to be? He looked at me. I said, I already am. And then he got it. He goes, yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. That's funny. Good stuff. Yeah, just funny, good stuff. Well, hey, tell you what, we have a couple guests with us in the studio this morning. There's kind of a big event, Maranatha. We have a lot of large, big community events every year and all throughout the year. covering all sorts of genres of lifestyle. But this one coming up is our annual game dinner. Man, all different kinds of wild meat is served. People come in from all over. They mark their calendars. They're here. That's going to be tomorrow. I mean, tonight, tomorrow. Gal. Okay, so my two guests in here just about had heart attacks, and rightly so. It's tonight, and the doors open, I believe, at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, and we start eating at 5:30. The lobby will be, or 6. We start eating at 6. Yeah, I got all the details down, don't I? I just know this. I'm going to be here, But now I'm telling other people about it, so that's why I got you guys here, because we're going to talk about the wild game dinner. It's really, really cool. Maybe we've got all kinds of interesting meat. We got some really special meat coming this year, which you're going to hear about in just a minute. So it is tonight, our wild game dinner. And, okay, so now let me introduce our guests. We have the head of our game dinner, and that is John Bodine. John, how you doing, man?
Good, and you?
Fantastic. It's good to have you here this morning.
Good to be here.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're awake.
So, sometimes.
There's, coming into this Friday, tonight, the game dinner, there's just a lot of work. Meeting with vendors and volunteers and setting up crews and all the things that you got to manage. And now it's upon us. I'm just thinking, I'm amazed that you're awake. You survive every year, though. And then you come back, you're a glutton for punishment. You volunteer to say, hey, let's do it again.
It is fun.
It is fun?
It is fun.
So describe to me some of the fun aspects to you. I mean, as an organizer of it. And then maybe you can meld into how you might perceive other people. Why would they enjoy this evening?
Well, I personally think it's fun because I kind of like chaos, which is what events are in a sense, because you're pulling all this stuff together, and then the night of, everything generally runs smooth, but you're herding cats for the first, couple months leading up to it,
yep.
And then you kind of get them trained in, and then finally at the last minute. Everything just seems to be there.
It's happening. Yeah, it's happening.
And it's I don't think there's any secret sauce to it. I've worked in restaurants for years, so that type of having multiple things running around at the same time is not crazy to me. And then I have 6 kids, so.
Well, this idea that you love chaos, I can kind of relate to. Oftentimes things get quiet around here, and people say, well, wonder what Pastor Mike's going to be up to, because things have been way too quiet, way too long. He's going to go stir up something, So yeah, you almost got to get energized by that chaosy challenge, don't you?
Yeah,
you do.
It's like a duck on water. Looks really calm, and underneath, the feet are going, the mind's going. It's like, all right, so what time's this guy coming in? Is this guy going to be here? Does the volunteers? Our speakers flying in today, so that's always nerve wracking. It's like no flight delays, nothing like that. But
yep.
We've always been lucky in that sense. So. Weather's good from where he's flying from to where he's flying to. The weather's good both directions. So
I'll have you talk about him a little bit more just a minute, but I was talking to him the other day, and he told me that he has never in his lifetime been in weather below 0.
Oh, he's in for it.
And that's what I told him. I said, well, you're in for a wonderful surprise. I said, up here in Minnesota, there are sometimes, now again, it's pretty rare, it's not common, but every once in a while the high doesn't get above 20 below.
Yep.
And I said, for men, when they go urinate outside, I said, when you do that when it's 20 below, you got to walk backwards. So yeah, he said he's kind of looking forward to it, but he's going to be packed up with some warm clothes. He's
going to hit the extremes too, because everyone, I tell people about it. I'm like, yeah, it was 40 degrees on Friday, and it was, negative on, and that's what he's running into. It's going to be 40 today, and the high on Sunday is supposed to be -5.
Yeah.
And when he comes into church, it'll be anywhere from 10 to 15 below. So he's going to have almost a 60-degree weather swing in 2 days.
Yeah. Okay, so where's he coming in from?
Louisiana.
Yeah,
he's a Bayou boy.
Oh, my gosh. Well,
great story, too.
Yeah, great story. We'll talk about that again in just a little bit. So we got this coming on. It's tonight, the game dinner. All of our listeners, I invite you to grab a friend. Come on up. What's the entry cost?
That's $20 a person. That gets you a door prize ticket, and in the event, and then also dinner.
Yep, cool. And I know there's a lot of door prizes.
Yep.
And then we have the gun game. We can buy
gives-
raffles.
Yep, that's fun this year.
For the different guns. There's 3 different guns?
3 different guns, and then we've got a certificate to Best Defense.
Oh, very cool.
For the party room rentals is going to be good this year. So.
Oh, that's just fantastic.
And the guns are unique.
The guns are unique. Every year, that's kind of a cool deal to see how you win the gun. And the guns that are given away are pretty nice guns.
Yeah, we went a little different direction this year, but they're kind of. I went with kind of hot topic guns.
Okay.
So
every year I have it's not a big deal, but it's just a passing kind of, God, I wish I could buy some raffle tickets for that. But, I'm the senior pastor here, and it would look horrible if my name got drawn. So, so that doesn't ever happen. For all the events that we do. It's like, nope, I just, I'll sit by and watch everybody else.
If we ever give away a Harley, though, I'm pretty sure you're going to break that rule.
No, I wouldn't even for that. As much as I would like to, because I know that there's no way to rig it or do anything special.
Yeah.
But somebody would wonder.
Oh, always.
Yeah, always. So I'm like, nope, it's not even worth it. Anyway, so our other guest, along with John here, the head of the game dinner, is the master chef.
One of,
exactly. There's a lot of guys back there, but the church kitchen, we don't refer to the church kitchen as the church kitchen anymore.
Okay.
We refer to it as Dan's kitchen.
Dano's. Yep.
Dano's, it's Dano's. Dano's kitchen.
Yep.
Mr. Dan Dolliger, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. I'm awake. Yeah, it was a long day yesterday. Going sore, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Tell you what, this time of year, you walk in the kitchen and there's meat stacked everywhere.
We have. It was a very good donating year with the venison and porks and I'm sorry, the boars, the wild boars and the wild turkeys, and we have boatload of pheasants and some ducks and wild turkey. So yeah, we've got a lot of
just
meat.
A lot of different meat, just a variety of meat. I know a lot
cook.
of people look forward to. They come every year just to check out some of the variety of meat, and then usually every year we have like the special,
a unique
unique thing. So this year, tell our listeners, what is the meat surprise?
Well, this year we went. It ended up coming about almost as a joke. One of the guys at the hang-around said, "Hey, let's have kangaroo and python," and everybody looked at each other and giggled. And Brian was sitting there and said, "Well, I can make kangaroo happen." So we looked into it, and sure enough, the price of the kangaroo wasn't outrageous. So we pulled the trigger on kangaroo, and we found out python isn't for another week. So we won't have python, but next year we'll look at something else unique. But we've had alligator and turtle, and the one year we had the Bigfoot. So we had Sasquatch stew one year. So camel. Not saying how we got that, and the camel.
Stew.
Yeah. So
Hey, I remember having barbecued raccoon.
we've had raccoon.
Yep. Bear, we have bear fairly often.
Yep, and elk. We had some elk straps last year that were phenomenal. So, we're very blessed this year with a lot of meat. And in the past, there's been a lot of gravies, and I didn't buy one can of cream of anything
This year?
So it's all sauces, and the chefs that are here now, they're just unique with finding special sauces. So nothing is a cream of anything.
Well, okay, so you're making my mouth water.
Yeah,
We're going to come back to some mouth-watering discussion right after this break. You're listening to Something to Think About with me, Pastor Mike, a production of WAJC, Your Life Radio on 88.1 and 91.7 FM. We'd love to hear from you. If you have questions or comments about today's show, email us at wajc@yourliferadio.com. If you're ever in the Forest Lake area, I'd love to personally invite you to join us for a Sunday morning service at 9:30 a.m. or Wednesday evenings at 6:30 p.m. There's something for everyone.
Something to Think About with Pastor Mike is a production of WAJC Your Life Radio, which is owned and operated by Maranatha Assembly of God in Forest Lake, Minnesota. You can find more information on the web at realchurch.org. Now, back to Something to Think About.
Hey, welcome back. Again, you've turned into WAJC, Your Life Radio, and I have two guests in the studio with me this morning, Mr. John Bodine and Mr. Dan Dolliger. Both up to their earlobes and beyond with an event that we're having tonight, the Wild Game Dinner. And it's just a very, very fun time. I mean, hundreds of people come. In fact, John, I can't remember. I remember years ago, the top number was it was over 700 people. And then we decided we got to cut that down. So we quit advertising as much as we used to. And for a couple of years, we didn't advertise at all. It was just word of mouth, guys in church. But it slowly has grown again. So do you remember what last year's attendance might have been?
We were just over 400.
Okay.
And then we figure we fed 500 because there's about 60 volunteers.
Yep.
When it's all said and done with everyone that's working and then vendors.
Yep.
So we were just under 500 total for served last year. And that's usually where we want to cap it.
Yeah, it gets pretty full.
Yeah, I mean
That's a lot of food.
It is. We've got it set up for 400 in there right now, and we've got emergency tables set to the side. So if we need to scramble and get more, we can get more out there. But yeah, I think right now we're a little over 200 pre-sold. So
okay.
Which is above last year.
Oh, pre-solds, yep.
Yeah, we usually have 200 or so walk up the night of. So,
Wow.
It could be a crazy dinner this year.
Let's just go backward just for a little bit here. We talked about the weather. You're right. Tonight, the weather's going to be fantastic.
40 degrees.
It'll be great temperature when you get here. Now, it'll be a little chillier when you leave the doors, but it's going to be really nice. Do you remember some of those years where freezing cold, snowing like crazy? I mean, both. Some just freezing cold nights. Other times, man, the snow was coming down, and there was 4 to 6 inches of snow in the cars when the guys left. I mean, just some crazy weather.
The last year, Sam that ran it before me, the last year that he ran it, we had a blizzard.
Yeah.
Attendance was way down. And then the next year is when we had the 100 inches of snow, and half our parking lot was lost to snowbanks. So we had people parking all over the place. That was crazy. In classic Minnesota, when there's no lines, it's interesting to watch how people park.
Winter parking rules.
They can make a 50-car lot fit all 4 cars.
All 4 cars, yeah, 50, yeah. That's kind of crazy. It really is. But it's always been a great time.
Yes.
And there's a guy, is he coming this year that's going to grade your antlers?
Yes, the guy that usually comes here, he will not be here. He's got another event, but he's got 2 other gentlemen that he's sending.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, we will have the scores here.
Yep.
And they are official Boone and Crockett and Pope and Young scores. So if you hit the minimum, they'll get a certificate mailed out to you, and your animal will be listed in the books.
In the books.
And
so what does somebody got to do?
They just need to bring in this. They can bring in, if they've already had it mounted, they can bring in the full mount. Most people at this point don't have them mounted yet, especially if it's a this year deer.
Yep.
I think it's a 60-day dry or 30-day dry, which at this event, it's been the end of the year, almost 30 days. So they give a green score if it's not, and then you have to wait so many weeks, you get an official score. But they just need to bring it in. Just bring in the skull.
Yep, the antlers, yep.
Yeah, because usually the skull plate they cut off, they bring it in, leave it with them, they have you fill out a sheet, and then they do the measuring. You can wait there and watch them measure it to learn. It's pretty interesting how they do it with their deductions and everything else that they got to do. So you can sit right there and watch it. You can watch them score other ones, but there's usually a dozen or so heads that are brought in every
Obviously,
year.
it's a very precise science.
Yes.
Because I have watched them in years past, watched them grade and measure antlers to give them a Boone and Crockett score. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, because Boone and Crockett's rifle and Pope and Young is archery.
Yep.
And there's different minimum requirements, and I believe this year they're going to bring some books you can buy, because a friend of mine's father-in-law's got in it last year, so he's going to show up to make sure you can buy a book for him.
Oh, very, very cool. That's really good. My next younger brother, Kevin, and then my other brother, Tom, shot some monster bucks this year.
Nice.
And then my brother, Tom, with a bow, went down to Missouri not long ago, and there's a game farm there with huge acres. It's not like you just go out and shoot this thing. You got to go out and hunt.
Yep.
And shot just a monster buffalo.
Oh, nice.
Oh, man, this thing's huge.
And they score those, too.
They score the buffaloes, too, yeah.
They score. They're official scores, and they are all 50 states. So their score is official in all 50.
Yeah, so to our listeners out there, if you got a set of antlers, you've always wondered, what is the score? What is this thing really, how big is it, Man, you can bring it in, and it's free.
Yes. Yep. They do it free.
Yeah, they do it for free, and it's very, very interesting. It really is.
Yeah, Jerry Lundy's always been the one that's been here, and this year he couldn't make it, but he said he's got 2 other gentlemen. So,
Oh, that's really cool.
yeah, really cool.
Fantastic. And then we got a lot of vendors. Just mention, if you get off the top of your head, I know you don't have a sheet in front of you, but who are some of the vendors?
Got taxidermist. It's new this year. We've been missing a taxidermist for a couple of years now, and we got one that's coming in. We've got a German short hair trainer coming in. We've got Best Defense is coming in. Our wood shop's coming in. We've got a couple charitable organizations for veterans and that are coming in that are outdoor related. Mm-hmm. We're down a little bit this year from vendors. Not terrible, but there's a different show going on down in the cities, one of those big ones.
Oh, yeah.
So we lost a little to that, but and the fun one's going to be the junior rifle program, and we're actually going to have air rifles set up for people to shoot in one of our hallways.
Oh, cool.
So that's kind of cool, and it's a local
Chapter?
rifle club. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if people didn't know about it, it's been around for a long time. Come out at least to see that. That's really cool. And then their long range group will be here. So,
Very cool. I just found out about this group probably 3-4 months ago. That
Okay.
it's a very active group shooting kids. I mean, it's really cool.
Yep. You should
Yeah.
come up
Very competitive.
some night and watch the kids.
And watch them, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
I'll have to do that. That'd be really fun. So, one of the, our guest speaker, tell us about a little bit about him, because you just, as you mentioned, very interesting guy. You see a picture of the guy and you go, oh my gosh, what's his story?
Well, exactly. His name is Matt Branch. He's from Louisiana. Earlier parts of his life, he was an offensive lineman for LSU. So he's 6'7".
Oh my God, 6'7".
Yeah.
Can you imagine
I
what is
believe
the air like up there?
Yeah, and I believe his playing weight was somewhere around 3.
Oh my gosh.
So he's a big boy. He's a big boy. Not a professional hunter, but he loves hunting, been hunting his whole life. And his story is about an unfortunate incident that happened while hunting, and it really shaped his life. And it's an amazing story. I first heard it on Robertson's.
Oh, yep, Phil, the Duck Commander.
Yeah, I first heard it on their podcast, and it just happened. I was like, well, I wonder what I'm going to do for a speaker. And then I heard him the next day, and I was like, that's got to be the coolest story I think I've ever heard. So I sent it to you to get the okay, and you're like, yeah, let's talk to him. And now it's just, I was hoping that it'd be good weather for him, and it will be. But we're gonna have him stay a couple days.
Yes. Yeah, because he's speaking Friday night, but then he'll speak again Sunday morning at 9:30.
Yep.
9:30 service.
Yeah,
He'll be
I think
speaking.
that's going to be awesome. I think the congregation is going to they're going to love it.
Yeah.
We're kind of a hillbilly congregation, I call it.
So, well, I don't go that
Well, not
far.
hillbilly, but, we're country.
I describe our congregation as a no collar. Because there's a white collar.
Yep.
What do we call it? Classy. Oh, dear Jesus. Okay, so there's, white collar churches. I literally had somebody one time tell me, our church wants just white collar people. Anybody else, they can go to your church.
Well, we'll take 'em.
I can't believe you said that in the hearing of God's presence. You said that? Anyway.
What's the theme this Sunday?
So we got, white collar churches and then blue collar churches, and I'd like to think of Maranatha as a no collar.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
And what's our theme this Sunday?
Yeah. Flannel.
Yeah, this Sunday is really kind of ironic that
Right.
because we have a Jersey Sunday it's been kind of again annual tradition
February.
for Super Bowl Sunday, and then somebody suggested, hey, we should have a flannel Sunday. So that's this Sunday, flannel Sunday.
Wear your flannel.
How appropriate, because we have our guest, from Louisiana. Probably doesn't own flannel. From
he brought
Louisiana.
I hope he brought a suit.
Hey, I am so excited that we're going to have below zero weather for him. I just think I think it's just terribly exciting. But yeah, just talking to the guy a little bit, he sounds very, very interesting. He loves to share his story because his story involves just the goodness of God in the midst of tragedy. Mm-hmm. And so it's just a great story. It's just going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's based on and he wrote a book too.
Yep.
Nobody's Going to Die Today. It's a good book. It goes through the whole thing that I heard in his podcast, but a little bit more detailed. And he did well with it.
No, that's cool. And people can buy his book. They can get that. Okay, Chef.
Yeah.
So we talked about this kangaroo.
Yep.
We're having kangaroo, along with all the other wonderful, delicious food. So did you taste the kangaroo?
We've had kangaroo
Yeah,
already.
you had to try it out, didn't you?
We had to cut a little bit of the tips off, and it changed the menu. We were going to go with roux stew, thinking that, you look at those videos with those kangaroos, and they're gigantic beasts.
Yeah.
And you think the meat would be very tough, but when we got this package of meats and saw the meat, it looks like a really good venison sirloin or tenderloin almost. So the color is really bright, and so we tried it, and it literally changed the menu. We were thinking we were going to have to cook it for 3 days, just
right,
to
and
make it
like
so
a
you could
stew
eat it.
out of it,
A
yeah.
stew or a chili. And so when we had that, it was like, oh my goodness, we're switching this up. And then I got thinking a little more about it, and it's one of the local restaurants where you have the onion in the Outback restaurant.
Yeah.
They have that onion and whatnot. So we're going to have an onion soup, or like a French onion soup with heavy onion, and then we're going to put the tips, make tips in that. So it's a French onion roux tips. So that'll be the sliced up kangaroo. And that's going to be really good.
Roux tips.
Roux tips, yeah. French onion roux tips. That's what we called that one. And then the other menu item is, we've had flying sliders, and we've had others. So we take a lot of the flying birds, the ducks, the pheasants. And this year we have enough pheasants where we're going to put that on a waffle. Down south they have chicken and waffles. That's a thing.
Really?
That's a thing.
Really?
So we're going to put pheasant on a waffle and
On a waffle.
and we'll have some marmalade and honey drizzle with a sriracha in there, so it's got a little bite to it. So it's a sweet heat, and it's going to be, that's over a little piece of a waffle. So they're making waffles in there right now.
Okay, so right now, I'm just imagining some of the people who just heard this, they're going, oh man, I want to go there.
Yeah.
And other people are like, oh, yuck.
No, it's phenomenal. We just tried it before we
It
came
is
in.
really, really good.
I was a little skeptical, and then I took a bite, and I went, Mike's got to taste this.
It's going to be a winner.
It's good. Yeah, it's that one. That one blew me away. I was
Really?
like, yeah.
So it's flying waffles. So that's what we're, flying waffles.
Flying waffles.
You got to have a name. We got to have a cute little name for everything.
Yeah, for all
So,
this stuff.
And then we have the wild beast balls. And we'll have a variety of wild game meat-wise, and have that with peppercorn and like a bourbon peppercorn sauce.
Okay.
And that'll be a hot sauce again.
Let's go back to this wild beast balls.
Yeah.
So is it like a combination of like a little bit of
Venison and elk
and then
and-
some just all that kind of stuff?
All the red meats are going into
So
a
it's not
pile
like
and grinding it.
just moose or just elk or just deer. It's a little bit of everything.
It's
kind
a
of.
lot of everything.
wild beast
and
balls.
we'll grind
Wow.
that up and make meatballs out of them.
Yep.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
So that's what that is. Not
I know.
anything else?
I know. In years past, we've always had some domestic turkey in case some people came who they come into a wild game dinner and they love the atmosphere, they love hearing the speaker,
Yep.
but they're not literally that adventurous as far as wild game.
Sure.
So we used to always have just domesticated turkey.
Right.
Do we have
I have one
turkey?
domesticated turkey. Otherwise, the other
Yeah, we have
ones
a lot of wild
have
turkeys, yep.
are,
Yeah, we
are
have
some
three.
big turkeys.
Yeah.
And so a couple of ducks. And so we're going to actually, that just came about last night. The ladies in the office don't know that we have a new menu item. And because we have so much meat this year. So menu changes. Generally, they get the menu items about an hour before people are coming in the door.
Really?
To make the signs.
To make the signs for the tables, yeah.
So we gave them to them yesterday, and they were tickled at noon to be able to get a recipe and put out a plaque, and now we're changing it. So we're adding to it. We're going to have the other things, but we're adding to it.
Well, that's some of the being ramped up and on the ball and things changing that you two guys love.
Oh my goodness!
That's what just keeps both of you running. Let's just
He was
do
saying
this.
they're herding cats beforehand, and then he dumps them off into the kitchen, and then I have to handle them at 3:00. So when all the volunteers come in to do the serving, and they're a phenomenal crew. I mean, we have 25 people that volunteer, the men and women that come
Yep.
in and volunteer.
And they just sit there and serve.
They get to serve.
We
They
have
do
three
hors
lines
d'oeuvres.
going usually, or two.
Yep. We have three lines,
Yep,
three lines of
going.
5 or 6 things.
Yep.
We're going to have roasted potatoes with roasted vegetables. So we're going to smash some roasted potatoes with roasted vegetables, rutabagas and carrots and other hard vegetables that we've got. And that's going to be different. So normally I'm telling you, we didn't have any cream of anything this year.
Wow.
It's all going to be
excited.
gourmet,
And that
gourmet
usually,
food.
Yeah, and the cream stuff and all that. That usually was a way to try to make food go
Extend it.
farther. Yeah, extend it, go further. So in fact, this year there's none of that. It's
Very
just
little,
all
yep.
food.
It's going to be
Neat.
wonderful. And then we have our carving table, and we're going to have our the venison. We're going to do I have to apologize. Brandon is my namer, but we have venison, the hindquarters, which has a much more meat on it, and so we're going to shave venison at the table, and then our boar, the wild boar. We have 8 gigantic ribs that are dinosaur ribs almost. These must have been a 600-800 pound sour pork,
Yeah.
whatever that was shot, and so these rib backs are 6 inches thick in diameter, 10
Oh my
inches.
gosh.
So, and we have enough of that.
I'm getting
where
hungry already. It's
somebody's-
early morning.
We could probably just cut a rib off for everybody. There's so many of them. So, and they've been smoking all night on the grill out back, and now we're going to smoke the venison and the turkeys. So
And then tonight we
and
are
then
gonna
We
chow.
are going to eat well.
Hey,
So-
if you're listening and you're tuning in, this is going to happen on Highway 61 between Forest Lake and Wyoming, Minnesota. Our address is 22479 Forest Boulevard, Northeast, Forest Lake, Minnesota. 22479. Come on out tonight. Doors open at 4 o'clock, and we eat at 6. It's just going to be a fun time. It really is. You're going to have a great meal. You're going to meet a lot of interesting people. The vendors, the lobby's busy, and then a great speaker. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Come
the
say hi.
thing I like about the menu, most people, if you grow up hunting, everything was in a cream sauce.
Yeah.
Cream of mushroom, cream of chicken, whatever. And that was to kind of get rid of the wild flavor. The way that these guys prepare the food, the wild flavor is not there, and you don't need the creams, and you don't need to cook it to the life out of it. I mean, the shaving table will probably be a medium, the way it comes off, and it's melting in your mouth. It's been marinating for 24 hours, the marinade they use. And I had it last year, and it is amazing.
Yeah, see
I mean,
how-
seriously, it's just whatever you were growing up thinking that you had for venison and that, and how it was supposed to taste, it doesn't. These guys know how to cook this stuff.
Well,
so
that makes the key.
it
Is
tastes
do you know how to
good.
cook it?
Yeah, I didn't. It's just like I said. Every year they amaze me with how they do it, and this year I've been blown away. I mean, what they're bringing out, I'm just like, it's a gourmet meal.
I remember in years past some people filling up on the hors d'oeuvres because there's hors d'oeuvre trays running around the lobby, And some
Jalapenos
people,
and
they're
poppers.
so good.
Jalapeno
They
poppers.
fill up on the hors d'oeuvres before the meal even starts. It's like,
Smoked
hey,
salmon.
a couple people I tell them, hey, slow down. Slow down. You got a whole lot coming ahead of you here.
Yep.
So do we have hors d'oeuvres as well?
Yep, we have donated smoked salmon. We get 6 or 7 smoked salmons, and then we're actually this year we're going to put just a hint of sour cream and cream cheese with a hint of dill, and we're going to mix that in with the smoked salmon and then put that on a cracker.
Wow.
And then the jalapeno poppers this year, we're mixing the bacon into the cheese sauce.
Okay.
So you're not going to lose the bacon on the top, and it's going to be a little bit different, but the flavor is going to be there. And yeah, they're in there now cutting about 500 jalapeno poppers up. So, and that's 1,000 jalapeno poppers that'll be served.
1,000. Like I said, and that's what I mean. A lot of times
least.
people fill up with the hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah, there's enough for a couple if you want a couple of them.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you you'll want more.
Man, that's it just sounds just so fun.
It is a blast.
So tell me, what's the atmosphere like in the kitchen when like today, all day, you guys gonna be slaving away, organizing, trying to make. And what amazes me every single year, everything comes out at the last moment. Boom, it's all done. It's ready to go.
Yeah, the last hour is extremely chaotic. Right now, it's fairly calm.
Yep.
And then the volunteers start showing up, and I have to step back and then
And direct.
and work with the volunteers.
yep.
But then the cooks are still in there. I have one coming in from Florida today at 11 o'clock, so he'll be here at 11 to take over where I have to step aside. And the grill is still going. We had the boar on there all night. It should be done shortly, and then we're going to throw the venison on along with some of the spatchcocked turkey, and then that'll be ready in a few hours. But what we call rubbing butts, there's a lot of butt rubbing in there because there's not a lot of room in the kitchen, and there's some big guys in there. But there's never a lack of words, and somebody's always got a story, and that's the best part is the storytelling.
Just to hang it out.
Oh my goodness!
All the time together.
I encourage anybody that wants to be a volunteer to come in the kitchen because we just have too much fun. I take out all the stress and just, what do you want to do? It's fun because you run the stuff by each other, and there's no apparent leader in the kitchen. You don't have a sous chef, so we don't have this and that. They're all cooks, and we just work extremely well together. The three main.
Nobody gets stabbed.
No,
Nobody throws
not
knives.
intentionally. There may be a little blood given, but it's not intentional. We're working hard in there, and you're just slinging knives and dull knives. But so no, nobody's. It's hilarious how we're all tasting each other's sauces and say, yeah, I know, and be honest. If it doesn't taste right, say it's got too much XYZ or not enough.
Yeah.
This, and we make adjustments, and all 3-4 of them that are in there, you say, that's it. This is the flavor, and then we stew it down, and it's so much fun in the kitchen. And not being a chef, I'm a machinist. I don't cook for a living, where these other two are Le Cordon Bleu chefs, and so they know. They use words that I have to just make up, and I make up things.
So anybody who knows you,
Yeah.
They kind of don't believe you that you're a machinist and you cook for a hobby because they see you as a master chef.
Yeah, it's
because
a
you
blast.
cook so much, you really do.
Here
You
I do,
love it,
yeah.
and so we consider you a chef.
Good.
We do. I mean, after all, it's your kitchen.
It is my kitchen.
It's your kitchen.
And
so
you are
we gotta
all welcome.
Behave ourselves in the kitchen. No, I love the way you describe this idea of just the fun, the camaraderie, because it's a lot of work.
It's a lot
But
of
you know
work.
something? When you're donating your time and you're hanging out with people, ministry or work doesn't always have to be painful work.
Chore.
Yeah, chore. Duty. It's fun.
Yeah, we
It's
want to
great
be
to have
here.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to. You don't have to. You get
I
to.
don't have to. I get to.
Yeah, that's right.
Every day.
That's true. John, we got just a couple more minutes. What else could you try to tell our listeners, or what is some of the highlights of just coming to our game dinner?
Well, the food's the highlight of it. And then our speaker every year it's unique. Like I said, he's not a professional hunter. He's got a great hunting story, and it'll be a good, if nothing else, listening to him and his story will definitely
Be worth the time being
worth
there.
your time there. And then on top of it, you get to have some amazing food. It's walk around. You'll see a few different vendors. You'll be able to look at a few different things, ask questions. We've got a guy who smokes bacon. He's going to have a booth here. I forgot about him.
And he donated some.
Yeah,
so
and he
we have-
donated some, so that's going to be in the
smoked bacon?
jalapeno.
We have smoked bacon.
Does he make candy bacon?
We'll ask him tonight.
I would imagine.
Maybe you can show him how.
Oh man, I make some mean candy bacon.
Yep.
Oh man, so I'm making some candy bacon, and I had a big tray of it kind of done, so I brought a bunch of it in the house, and then I went back out with another plate to go get some more off the grill. I went back in, the plate was empty. Mm-hmm. I said, "Sweetheart, what happened?" She goes, "I don't know."
The dog.
She said that plate of bacon, it just kind of disappeared. I don't know what happened. And it was
That's a good sign.
It was funny. It really was funny. So you got to put your knife to your throat with the candy bacon. Yeah, candy bacon.
Yeah, it'll be good. And then Dan's story about how they work well together. I mean, I watched that all day yesterday. That sauce they're putting on the waffle.
Yeah.
They were back and forth tasting it. Do we need a little more of this, a little more of this? They're asking other people. And they spent all day, and then finally they got it what they wanted. So this stuff's been cooking all day long, and then they finally nailed it.
Yeah.
And they're all like, yep, that's the one. And, it's
Don't
just,
ask us what's in it.
No.
Because you don't remember. You couldn't repeat this
We
if
do
you
not
wanted
know
to.
what's in it.
No, and it's fun with our meetings, listening to those guys just go back and forth and the different thoughts that they come up with. And it, like I said, from what we were talking about in September to what we have now, probably 60% of it's what they were talking about. Mm-hmm. And then even up to, I put menus on all the tables last night, and now there's something else.
They're going to change something.
But, that's going to be the surprise.
It's really funny. Hey, if you, again, are listening and you're even close to the area, and people drive a long way to get here, just make it an evening of it. Make it an event to be at. So, 22479 Forest Boulevard, Forest Lake, Minnesota. We are on Highway 61 between Forest Lake and then to the north of that, Wyoming, Minnesota. It's only 3 miles, so it's 1.5 miles south of Wyoming, north of Forest Lake on Highway 61. You can't miss it. And I want to give an invitation to all those of you who are listening in. Talk to some of your buddies. Come on out to a very, very fun evening. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day. And to our guests, John, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Dan, great to have you here.
Back to cook.
Back to the kitchen.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. You all have a great weekend.
Hey, thanks for tuning in today. Please join us right here each Friday morning at 8 a.m. If you have any questions or comments about today's show, email wajc@yourliferadio.com. You can hear more from Pastor Mike at Maranatha's website, realchurch.org, on the Messages and Media tab. The opinions expressed here are not necessarily those of the owner.